Now, in today's video, I am going to be introduced to you my final year projects at Black Death, A Great Time to Die. And I'll pass it to the past self that I recorded during I am in my booth. Hello everyone, I'm Lastjune and welcome back to my channel. Now today this video, if you click it through the QR code on my booth, congratulations, you're done this right. If you find me on YouTube, well, what are the odds, what are the chances, right? So in this video, I'm going to be introducing my final year project, which is Black Death, A Great Time to Die. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I am only staying in KL for one day. I can't stay here for the whole day, so I hope this video helped, because without this video, without the context, people won't actually know what I'm doing in my final project. So that is why I wanted to make this video. And yeah, let's start with the introduction of my projects. Now, you may be wondering why am I refilm this if I have already filmed it in KL and in front of my booth where I have a lot of props to just touch with. It's because that when I go through the clips, there's a lot of people talking in the background and I just can't seem to edit them out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna refilm this, and hence that's why I am not posting on Thursday but today. So that is that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And with that being said, let's get on with the introduction of Black Plague. What is Black Death, you may ask? Black Death is another name for Black Plague, and Black Plague is just another name for bubonic plague. Why bubonic plague, you may ask? It's because when you have bubonic plague, the symptoms is that your nose, your lips, your eyes are going to turn like black, and the tips of your fingers and the toe is also going to turn black, and hence that's why it's called Black Death. Besides that, you also have a swollen lymph node. If you don't know what swollen lymph node is, here's a picture of it. You have that at your armpit and your groin area, and they call it buboes, so hence the name bubonic plague. Now, another important thing is that how do they spread? Bubonic plague, majority of the people think that it's spread by mouse, but it's actually not accurately spread by mouse. It's spread by the flea on the mouse. So mouse is just a carrier for flea, and flea is the carrier for bacteria. Now, how does it work? So, flea, they suck blood, right? So, when the flea gets infected by the bacteria will stuck at the throat area, the tube that connects to their stomach. They were stuck at that place, and then when they suck your blood, the blood goes through the bacteria into their stomachs. And here's what the amazing thing is, that the bacteria will make them feel like they want to vomit. So they vomit. So the blood goes through the bacteria and out to your wounds, and that is how you get infected by Black Death. Yeah. Oh yeah, the bacteria will also make the flea goes a little bit more aggressive than usual, so that's just a very side note. Now, let's talk about Project 1. Project 1 is about Plague Doctor, which is a big aspect of Black Plague. Now, a little bit of history here. The doctor was originally to record death toll, but not cure people. But through times, they just eventually become uncertified physicians, because most of them don't know what they're doing. They have nothing to lose, you know. There are so many people that are dying, and they just keep on trying this weird treatments to just like, well, eventually, by luck, maybe they can find the cure. And hence, that's why I created these doctors, because they all have different theory that they support, and they all have their different treatments that they suggested. Now, before I move on to talking about the treatments, these are not historically accurate. The characters are not, but the facts and the treatments are. So let's move on. So the first doctor is Dr. Crow. She is a big fan of miasma theory. If you don't know what miasma theory is basically just if you suck in the bad air during Black Plague era, you will get infected. That's not true. Black plague is spread by flea bite, as I was said just now. So but it's a very big theory during that time, and hence that's why they have this bird mask. You could stuff a lot of dry flowers, herbs and spices, or even like scent, just to stuff inside so that it will prevent you to smelling like the outside air. So that is miasma theory. And Dr. Crow, her main job is to record death, unlike other people who just try to cure people, not cure. Wow, they sound very alike, isn't it? All the zins on the table you can read, and feel free to touch it. Just make sure that you don't break it. It's a paper, you don't break it, and you put it back to the original space when you're done reading. Now, let's move on to the second character, which is Dr. Hummingbird. Dr. Hummingbird is this bright yellow color character that I wanted to illustrate to show that it's still a children. And his background is that his family actually runs a family business of treacle. If you don't know what treacle is this thing, and it is a sugar molasses that is left when the process of crystallizing sugar, like you have crystallized sugar, and then you must have a part that is like uncrystallized sugar. That is sugar molasses, hence treacle. Now, the treacle here we're talking about is black treacle, which has a little bit of bitterness inside. It sounds sweet, isn't it? It sounds lovely to consume it, but it has to be aged for 10 years until it can actually consume, because by 10 years time, yeast, molds, bacteria will develop inside treacle, and they believe that that will help to fight the Black Plague. Do not consume 10 years old stuff. Don't do it. You might die. Now, back to Dr. Hummingbird. Because his family runs a family business of treacle, he always aspired to be like the people who brew treacle and to help people and all that stuff. But because he's still young and his family just did not allow him to use his own treacle to cure people. So his biggest dream is to just use like his own treacle that he made right now to cure people 10 years after. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the third character, which is Dr. Eagle. Dr. Eagle is kind of the serious one in all of my characters. He suggested bloodletting and also quarantine. Now, bloodletting is a method that you cut off your pupils and then you let the poison blood flow out. Sounds legit, right? But I don't think that's actually worked during that time though. If you don't like knife, you can also choose to have leech, because leech will also suck your poison blood out, and yeah, that is his treatment. As I said before, he also suggested quarantine, which during that time, due to they don't have a lot of internet and they like isolation is just the cruelest thing that you can do to one man, and like during that era they quarantine for 40 days instead of right now, which is 14 days. So be grateful, guys. You just need to self-quarantine for 14 days, bro. And we'll now move on to Dr. Flamingo, which aka the rich one. Plague Doctor was originally paid by a city. They cure no matter rich or the poor. This character is just basically my imagination, so that is that. But the treatment is historically accurate. Now, his treatment is to only cure for the richest because it involves using emerald. Now, emerald, they believe that the energy of the precious stone will help you to just cure Black Death. But you have to take an emerald, crush it into crystal like small bits, and then drink it with water. Imagine that going through your throat. That is Dr. Flamingo. Now, we'll move on to Dr. Parrot, which is a wild card that I have because I think it's very funny. He suggested bathing in urine and apply feces on wound. Because, according to his theory, this will help to scare away Black Death because of your fucking smell. That's not true, but if you want to try it, feel free to do so. I don't really fucking mind. And that is all from my project 1 and the very detailed introduction of my Plague Doctor. Okay, let's move on to our second project, which is the outbreak map. Now for project 2, that I illustrated a outbreak map. So first off, I would like you to look at the map, see some little details, and I'm going to be explaining to you one by one. The upper part, which is like the heaven part, the middle is the god, and then the right part is the angel. The left part the left part is 3 planets, is Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. So what the planet means is that during 1345, when Black Plague first outbreak at Europe, they believe that it is a punishment that's sent by God. And yeah, that time people are very, very religious, so I just incorporate into this map. The 3 planet alignment means it's a sign of God punishment that sends Black Death. And yeah, let's move on to the lower part. And then there's people just bringing the corpse. How to determine its corpse? You can see that nose tip is black, and they have like black spot at the faces, and that is how we determine it is a Black Death victim and is already dead. And I forget to open my light. Plague pit is essentially just a big hole that for you to dump all of the corpse inside and then bury it, because they don't have enough manpower or even time to dig up a lot of hole, because that time a lot of people die, and so a big hole settles all the problem, which is plague pit. Let's move on to the middle part. 2 globes in the middle. I did not write any of the country name at any site because I want to leave it for the mouse pin or country pin that is currently on my map right now. So why I want to make this mouse pin is because I want you to see from visually how cramped and how crazy the outbreak at Europe is. The other place also has the outbreak of Black Plague. It's just not as crazy as Europe, so I just don't do them. I just focus on the Europe and the China part. The first outbreak in China, and then it moved to Silk Road, and then Milan, Italy. It's just outbreak to Europe. That is project 2, my outbreak map. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Just let me know. I will be here to tell you the answers of your questions. And now let's move on to project 3, which you will need to turn around and you will see the building at your waist height. Let's move on to project 3. Hey, I'm here. Now, project 3. Project 3 is this massive paper model building that I built for 2 months, and here's why. This building is called Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey was the monastery used by the members of religious orders. So it's just like a place for like Christian activity and all that. And during the era, religion is very, very important to the people. They believe in God, and hence that's why they have this theory of God sent punishment, hence the 3 planet alignment, stuff like that. Okay, so Westminster Abbey, why is it important? First of all, it's a place that provides places for religious activities and housing of Christian monks and nuns. Here also lies 26 monks that died due to Black Death, most possibly because they went to the ill's house to perform last rite for the ill. During that time, priests will actually go to the victims or the patient's house who is infected by Black Plague, and they will go to the house before the patient dies, and they will perform last rite. They will listen to the patients, listen to them like talk about their lives and all that, and they will give comfort to the patients and like just ease them to death, something like that. Even though they know that is the big possibilities that they are going to get infected by Black Plague due to them having contact with the ill. That's just a sacrifice that I would never do, and I respect the sacrifice. So I just wanted to do this to remind you that the Christian activities, the religions of the era, and the priests that died because of the last rite. So that is Westminster Abbey, and that is my project 3, my last project. And let's move on to my extra development. So that is all for the 3 projects of my Black Death, A Great Time to Die. Here is a copy of my progress book. You could read it, feel free to read it. Like, I already printed, so just fucking read it. And also for further development, just to say thank you for watching this long fucking video. Here is a copy of my test print world map. If you want, you can take it at 2nd of October because we are packing at that date. First comes, first serve. And also, just like side note, don't touch any of the liquid here because you might break it, and it's a whole lot of mess to keep all this shit. And like I'm not here, so I can't settle all the mess if you guys just like touch it, so do not touch, okay. And I also have this limited pins. If you want, you go to my Instagram, which is right here. Just go and just like DM me which pen you want. I will tell you if it's available or not. And yeah, that is all for the pins. Yeah, also this mouse here, this huge ass mouse stickers, take it and put it around Dasein because I want Dasein to be infected by Black Plague. I'm just joking, shut the fuck up. Oh yeah, I also have a small booth-ish kind of art market just directly in front of this thing. So if you want to buy anything just to like remind you about Black Plague, you can go there and check it out. Give the money to Yenny. If you don't know who Yenny is, Yenny, can you come over? This is Yenny. So thank you, Yenny. Also, I have a black portfolio-ish kind of file right there. You can also browse through that if you want. And yeah, that's just all of it. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Okay, so that is all for my Black Death, A Great Time to Die project introductions. If you are interested in Black Death and just like the very detailed history, I am planning to do one video just solely for explaining Black Death and what I've researched. If you want to see that, remember to comment down below and give it a like for this video. And yeah, thanks for coming to my exhibitions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.